So I started this channel about a month or so ago, and for those of you who have watched my 2022 arcade tour video, I filmed that originally right around mid-November. And since then, by the end of the year, I've grown my actual collection of Arcade1up units, and this is more or less an update video. And to be forward, I pretty much stole this idea from probably one of my favorite Arcade1up YouTubers, MichaelBTheGameGenie, and he goes over the units that he picked up in 2022 to add to his home arcade. So this video is an overview of some of the cooler units that I picked up throughout the year and currently have as we go into 2023. Let me know what you guys think. As far as some of the other collectors that I've seen who are building out their home arcades, I probably have one of the smaller ones. I know if you look at like MichaelBTheGameGenie's collection, he probably has like 4 floors or something dedicated to the amount of units that he has, which, look, I'm jealous of that for sure. So when I started this, I went pretty quick and got 3 at first. I was pretty gung-ho to keep building this up, and then pretty much life happened and things got busy and I didn't have as much time to dedicate to this hobby as I wanted to, and things became a little stagnant. Throughout 2021, I grew my collection a little bit. In 2022, however, there were a couple units that I'm still intending on getting, but I wasn't sure I could justify the price. So what I mean is, Terminator 2 was one of the units I wanted. Killer Instinct is still one that's very, very near and dear to me. That's on my radar as one that I want next. And ultimately, I pretty much capsized at what I felt were the main units I wanted. However, there were a couple cool things. So on TSC, you had a couple really, really great flash deals. Miss Pac-Man Partycade being one of them. So I got this in early 2022. This was probably the first new cab or Partycade, whatever you want to call it, that I got last year. This unit, as far as I'm concerned, overall, I was impressed. The marquee looks great. The way it plays is excellent. I have a full review on it if you want to watch it. But this was the first one I got in 2022, and I'm completely satisfied with that purchase. Now, as the year progressed, I'd still been actively looking at some units, but I kept flip-flopping as to whether or not I was or wasn't going to get them. One unit that I've always wanted, and I actually bought, believe it or not, but it came broken out of the box, was the Mortal Kombat 2 Legacy Cab. Now, I myself would have went with either this, or there's a new one out that's out now as well. This one, however, I found for a very, very good deal on Kijiji. I believe I spent $280 cash. I have a post somewhere on one of the Arcade1up groups saying exactly what I spent. And I knew there were a couple issues with this, the main one being the screen. But I ended up also going ahead through Buy Stuff Arcade and purchased a riser booster. And as it stands, I'm convinced this is like a perfect Mortal Kombat unit. I like the way it plays, I like the way it looks, and with that riser booster, yeah, it was a little pricey. This to me was a great addition to the end of last year for my home arcade. The last unit that I bought was actually more or less, it was one of those big deals that was happening at the end of last year with all the Arcade1up units, and that's the Pac-Mania Legacy Cabinet. Now again, I have another very in-depth review on this on my channel here if you want to watch it, but this was going for $300 plus tax. I'd also received a couple bonuses at work and figured, you know what, I'm going to do it. This is, it's not my main, it's not my Terminator 2 or Killer Instinct or something, but for $300, I thought that was a fantastic deal. And as far as I'm concerned, the game selection on this, excellent. And I really, really, really enjoyed the online leaderboards on this unit. A lot more than I expected. If you watch my review, I kind of go a little bit more in depth on all of that. So this was the final unit that I purchased for my home arcade here. So 2022, I know I've seen some of your guys' home arcades, and you guys went crazy on some of the groups that I'm seeing and on some of the YouTube channels with buying like 50 units. To some level, I wish I had enough space to do that, but I'm also sure that probably wouldn't be the nicest financial decision, especially in the eyes of my wife. But at this point, I'm pretty satisfied with what I currently have, and for me it was a pretty substantial year in the fact that I got a smaller space, and getting 3 extra units definitely helped fill it out in a good way. And as far as I'm concerned, there's some really good units. Now, the Mortal Kombat Legacy, I talked about this in a recent video, but to me, I really like that unit. They did drop the ball at Arcade1up with the way they set the screen in, but spending that extra $80 that I did on a riser booster has made this one of my most played units at this point, and it's something I continuously play. So I'm really happy with what I got in 2022. In this year, I'm looking forward to trying to get Terminator 2 on like a good deal or something. Killer Instinct, I may just bite the bullet, spend full retail, and get that unit as well. And I'm really excited to see what Arcade1up does release this year with some of their newer models.